no. Second on track on his return. An angry Corgi with the PC issues. Having... we kissed, that's all. I'm gonna lose my job. But, yeah, we'll go on board with SlapBus for his first lap on his return when he eventually comes around to the line. Last season in AT1, I do remember it being wet, the main race, and last season was very weird for wet conditions at COTA. The one in the no assist division took ages to rain and actually be wet on track. But in AT1 it just rained immediately and the track basically went to inters like that. So yeah, a bit of a weird one, as that's SlapBus going off track, getting used to the intermediate conditions. I know he's been keeping up with the racing as he has a nice little drift through the final couple of corners. Forgive me if I'm not calling out the the corner numbers correctly, because this is not a track I've done for a while. But and we'll go on board with SlapBus for a bit. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Corgi is slowing down to start his lap, but here we go with the SlapBus up the hill, looking out for just before the black box on the right hand side. Takes a bit of a karting apex, if you want to call it that, by missing it a little bit. Nice and tight through turn 2. Brave as you dare on the track limits, but SlapBus doesn't quite get there through the next S section. Clipping the curb nicely on the side, opening the corner wide open for a good exit down to either 10 or 11, and I never remember which one it was. Braking as late as possible. A little bit of a snap there on the rear, wiggling out a little bit under braking, but nice traction putting them onto the main straight, where in the dry conditions we'd have DRS, but obviously in the waters we don't. Keeping it nice and tight to the right hand side, don't clip the curb because you will need a tiny bit of lap time, but all those milliseconds count, excuse me. Taking as much curb as you dare, very close track limits on the right hand side, so loses him quite a bit of time trying not to go over them. A bit wide again through the next hairpin. Range of lines you can take for this one. SlapBus decides to keep it nice and tight on the apex. Through here, flat right-hander, reminiscent of Turkey, if for those of you who have been around with that long. Obviously I haven't, those of you that know me. Nice and high speed through the left hand and coming through to turn 20. Nice and very close to the inside there. Has a little bit of a snap on the exit, doesn't get it very clear, but SlapBus gets it started with 144.4. Next to the line, I believe no, it's Chivers, does 146.4. Who will be followed by an angry Corgi. Hasn't disallowed his lap. Little bit of throttle in the final corner by the apex. 46.1 goes ahead of Chivers. I think that's right now to the line. Ryan goes P2, 5 tenths behind SlapBus. It'll be whoever can get used to these conditions quickest, really. As that guy goes into P4 with 145.1. Padge into P7, 2 tenths off of Chivers. And we will see the AlphaTauri of Ayahuasca, the star of Silverstone, from what I remember, puts it into P7, only a 10th off Chivers and a 10th ahead of Padge. JohnJohn pops it up into P3, mere hundredths behind Ryan. But SlapBus with seemingly an untoppable banker, if that's a word that I'm using correctly. Smaller puts it into P5, just behind his teammate, 9 tenths off though. Next car on a lap is TidiestBear. Everybody else will be coming into the pits, or unless you're Top Gun, you'll be on your out lap. If you don't know who won, just say JohnJohn.
In NA last season, I think
Oh God. I'll need to check that one actually. And I can. For those of you who don't know, I've been going back and doing a little bit of a project of mine. Recently, I actually finished that up. So, hopefully that's just going through admins at the moment. And I will see what I get back with, but hopefully I'll be able to open that to you guys in the league. Been working on that one for a long time, been a couple months now. TidiestBear not quite flat through the triple right-hander. But yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy that soon enough. And I can tell you now that last season it was Deflated who won the race. As TidiestBear goes up into P10. And Greg will be next to the line. In no assists, Deflated won last season. In 81, Deflated won last season. And in 82, it was Marlboro Sled. So Deflated with a good track record here, going off of last season. But we will find out and see if that is consistent with this season. Deflated saying himself, if I'm remembering correctly, that this is one of his worst starts to the season. Obviously, no intention of degrading the man, but drawing attention to it is probably a bad thing. But best wishes to him on this season and this race, and if he repeats what he managed last season, then I think he'll be pretty happy with that. I think he's won 2 races this season now. Monaco... Wait. Did he win Monaco? He's won in 81. I remember that. Yeah, Monaco and France. In NA, I think he's been on the podium a couple times. I can check that for you. Deflated has 3 podiums this season in no assists. Hopefully, and he will be aiming to add to that tally tonight. As we watch Top Gun coming through turn 20 now. Number 34 on the back of that Williams. Pops up into P4 with 144.8. Nearly a second off of SlapBus. And as I was checking, that guy's gone up into P2. 2/10 off of SlapBus. So, that guy, as we've seen in the past, I believe it was Imola, is actually really quite a wet weather maestro. To say the least. So, we could see some qualifying heroics. Having NA Monaco was JohnJohn. Yes, I'm talking 81. 81 Monaco was Deflated, and then 81 France was Deflated. But yeah, NA Monaco was JohnJohn. Yeah, you may have noticed by now, it is just me on my own tonight. Padge, as you can see, racing, and Spark, I believe, still with internet issues. Please don't remind me. That was not a fun experience, as I'm sure you will understand. Yeah. I need to find who's on a lap. I think Ryan's just finishing his now. Pops at P3. He was already there, but he's improved his time by 0.4 of a second. That will be Top Gun going into the pits, and then the next car is the SlapBus on an outlap, and then there is an Alpha Tauri. I think he might have spun coming out the hairpin. Unfortunate for Ayahuasca. He's doing quite well in the wet at Silverstone, if I'm remembering correctly. That'll be Greg possibly coming into the pit lane this lap. Doesn't have too much battery and he's quite a ways down on his time. Yeah, Greg comes in. So the furthest car along that is on a lap will likely be the TheSlapBus. We'll see if he can improve his time. I believe that TheSlapBus's last race... Oh god. When was his last race? Probably mid-season, no assists? But I do remember, as he goes off there, has a bit of a spin, half spin there, probably getting a little bit distracted by the Alfa Romeo of TidiestBear. But I do remember that TheSlapBus actually won the opening race of Season 5 no assists in Bahrain. And seemingly he's picking up where he's left off. At the front of the field. So, that will mean that JohnJohn has gone fastest on track in Sector 1. I believe that was 2 tenths up on his lap time. We'll ride on board with JohnJohn here, shall we? Missing his apex a little bit, and a tiny snap on apex, but pretty decent traction. Nice speed going down towards the next hairpin. This one you want to brake fairly early, but you want to get it also into the apex and just take an absolute munch of that curb, which JohnJohn doesn't quite manage to get. He's 2.5 tenths up in Sector 2 on a 109.0 overall split. Pretty good traction coming out of that hairpin. A bit wide for the next one. Very tricky corner that one, to be fair to him. Taking a little lift through the triple apex right, through the high speed left, taking a nice amount of curb. And coming up towards turn 20 now. Keeping it nice and close to the apex. No snaps at all. JohnJohn 2P2 with 143.942. Next car to the line will probably be starting the lap. Therefore, the furthest along on track on the lap will be that guy, who is 13 thousandths up in Sector 1. Is 1.6 seconds down in Sector 2, so he might have backed off and made a mistake somewhere. So therefore, the next car along will be TidiestBear, who I believe is also on a cooldown lap by the looks of things. So we look to Top Gun, I think, because TheSlapBus and JohnJohn have done their laps. That guy and Bear have backed off, and I think Corgi and Wee have started their laps later. Prev, unfortunately, by the looks of things, unless he's leaving it till the very last moment, is not going to get out of the pit lane. TheSlapBus comes in, he'll be cutting it very tight for the race. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2, so I think that's probably a Ferrari letting everybody go. Top Gun's had a very good run of form recently, having won in Canada. Was P2 on the road in Silverstone. Unfortunately, an in-game penalty. He's 6 tenths up in Sector 2. Provisionally would only jump him up 1 place, but the track looks to be improving. And pretty decent traction out of there. Triple apex right-hander. JohnJohn goes fastest on a 43.7, only 100th up on TheSlapBus. Top Gun nicely through the final corner and into turn 20. TidiestBear has crashed and retired from the session, and Top Gun goes P3 on a 43.8. Less than a tenth off of JohnJohn in P1. We will try... Actually, we can't even figure out what has happened to TidiestBear. Prev will not make it out the pits, and neither will Padge for their final runs. TheSlapBus is going to be cutting that very tightly. That guy maybe just burning down the fuel to go for a final run. And we will see his... No? We're not going to see his teammate. Who's the next car on track? It's Ayahuasca. Also on a cooldown lap. Why is everyone on cooldown laps? This is not making my job easy. Chivers also not burning any battery. The Mercedes, the only Mercedes tonight, Joseph has unfortunately had to pull out. So DeflatedWee flying the flag for the Black Arrows. Using a small bit of second gear. On this game, it is better on traction to be in third, obviously, with the new game coming up very quickly. There's Padge tyres in the pit lane. With the new game coming up very quickly, from certain things I've been hearing, the handling is vastly different. So, as Deflated puts it into P8, we will find out, as Greg is invalidating the other Ferrari of JohnJohn, is starting his final run, I'd believe. But yeah, we will see who comes out the blocks flying for next game. Chivers has gone fastest in Sector 1, and it is looking a bit brighter now. You could see the sun glaring off of the ground in Sector 1 there. Prev and Smaller's come in, as has TOPGun. Both likely going to retire in the pits. That is their session over. I think there is a Red Bull coming in. Yes, an Angry Corgi has come in. SlapBus has made it to the line to start his final lap. Chivers 1.5 seconds up. That would put him on a 44.9. He's having snaps left and right. A lap that would only put him P6. TOPGun and that guy. That guy's... So, excuse me, TOPGun was in the pits and that guy has finished his session by crossing the line. Chivers taking a big bite of that curb. Coming towards the line now. Coming out of turn 20 is Chivers. The 44.3 can't go any higher than 6th, but half a tenth exactly off of Ryan. The Mercedes of DeflatedWee crosses the line and can only improve to P9. The Ferrari to the line now of JohnJohn. Very low on battery. Can he improve and extend his pole margin even further? JohnJohn comes to the line and he's 9 tenths down. JohnJohn can't improve, as that was a big slide for somebody there, I believe. Ryan sliding his way across the line. SlapBus can't improve either. And that is that for qualifying here in the US Grand Prix. With JohnJohn taking pole. The 1:43.727. SlapBus on his return, only 100th off of pole position. However, I'm sure he will be more than happy with that. And that is your grid. JohnJohn in the Ferrari taking pole, only 7 milliseconds ahead of SlapBus on his return, followed by TOPGun and that guy having put in some pretty impressive performances in the wet. Top 3 covered by less than a tenth. Ryan 5 tenths off of pole. Chivers and Smaller, both Williams and both Astons doing quite well to be in the top 7, each of them. Corgi in P8, Wee in P9, Ayahuasca in P10, Greg in P11, Padge P12, TidiestBear in 13th, and Prev in 14th, having not set a lap. And now we have the 5-minute break. I got a feeling. I really hope. Oh well. Ignore me. I'm just having a bit of a thinky. That's good. That's good, that's good. That is good that you are good. Lots of goods in that sentence. Yeah, sorry if I seem a bit mad tonight. I had some food as we watch for the lights now. 5 lights. And IRL is underway with a very quick turn off of the lights. Prev gets TidiestBear on the line. But JohnJohn has had a pretty decent start. SlapBus not quite being able to get alongside him. And JohnJohn has maintained the lead into turn 1. That guy being pressured by both Williams for P3, but just about holds it. Back of the field there seems to be a bit of an action as they're going almost side by side between Ryan and Chivers. Ryan falling down one off of the line, I believe. As SmallerSmiley has gone round. SmallerSmiley to the back of the field on the mediums. That's the wrong one. And there we go. As Padge has also dropped it on the exit of the left-hander. Not sure if anything's going to have happened there, but Ryan with a send into the hairpin. Didn't quite catch it, but fair mix of tyres, I'd say. JohnJohn on the mediums, SlapBus on the hards, that guy on the mediums, TopGun on the hards. That is Chivers going for the inside on Ryan. Both keeping it fair, side by side on the exit as Ryan gets the place back, but Chivers with the switchback might get him into the tight left-hander. He's going all in around the outside, gets a little bit pushed off. Ayahuasca going off side by side with Prev in the background. But that is Ryan holding position ahead of Chivers, fighting with Deflated for P3 in the championship. Deflated on the hards, so he'll be going a little bit longer in this race. As we go back to the front two. That guy seemingly with a bit lower wings than SlapBus in front, gaining all the time on that straight. Yeah, Steely, I'm alright. As you probably heard me before the race start, a little bit mad. But yeah, I'm a bit hyper tonight. The SmallerSmiley's gone off at turn 1, as we can see in the minimap. Unfortunate for Smaller, had a pretty decent qualifying. Unfortunately, coming undone in the race. But there are a lot of interesting lines that you can actually use at COTA. For example, the one just after the Sector 1 split, you can actually take that quite wide and then cut back in. As TidiestBear already on lap 2 getting a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, range of lines you can take around this track. It's always one of the fun ones, as that is Chivers going off in the background, letting through Deflated on the hards. Might allow a look from Prev behind. Can't quite see it in the background, but unfortunate for Chivers, had a really good start, but can't keep it up on lap 2. As Chivers, another one with already a track limits penalty. This track I didn't think was really known for track limits, but seemingly the drivers out there today struggling a little bit with it. As JohnJohn has pulled further ahead. DRS is now online for the drivers that are within a second, so the top 5... Top 5 will have DRS, but Deflated won't quite. And neither will Ayahuasca. He's just a couple thousandths behind. And as I say that, he actually pulls it back in. So, a bit of a commentator's swap. Commentator's curse, you might call it. But it's the good kind. SlapBus will have DRS down the back straight here. Very evenly spaced out, the top 5, but Deflated on the hards. Falling back a little bit as he's had a bit of a send from, I think that was, from Chivers. They looked side by side on the exit. As SlapBus, not quite close enough to make a move. They are 3 wide down the back straight. Chivers, Prev, and Deflated. As Chivers and Prev maybe both going a little bit aggressive there, as Chivers is half spun and down to P9. Deflated is capitalised and he's up to P7. Having just lost those 2 positions, but Prev, might he have damage? They've lost a very large amount of time to the leading pack, will be a difficult story for them to get back in, as JohnJohn, looking at the gap, has some flying pace right now as Corgi gets a 3-second penalty on lap 3 for him. But JohnJohn is pulling away, and he is deflated. Looks for a very aggressive move there, very sudden moving. But we could see as Ryan is also very close to being out of the DRS, the leading group. I did notice that Ryan was quite far back, but seemingly has the pace to just about keep it within the DRS. But Prev, with some electric pace from not setting a lap in qualifying, he's all the way up to P6 by lap 4. So very impressive driving from the recently made father. As Ryan is very, very close now to being out of DRS. He has actually dropped out of the 1 second barrier. However, with the top 4 as they are, as Ryan with a little twitch on the front end, might see him lose out on DRS. He's very, very close. He's just about got it though. As Chivers and IIRL are side by side through the triple right-hander. This will be a brave one for Chivers to pull off. Brilliant move, and just about keeps within track limits in the high-speed left-hander, and keeps DRS to DeflatedWee, who is bearing down on the back of Prev. Prev moving once, moving twice, moving a third time towards the braking zone, but Deflated with that tighter line, or with the wider line, sorry, gets the switchback, but Prev on the inside is able to just about edge him out. They were very close to going side by side through the S section, which would have probably caused a bit of carnage. But already in the first 5 laps we have had a lot of action. I'm sure you guys can agree, but hopefully we're able to keep up this level while keeping it clean as well. Medium tyres at this stage, as Prev goes quite deep. Deflated, taking it a little bit too tight and almost running into the back of Prev, will leave him vulnerable to the Williams behind of Chivers. They'll be very close going down to the hairpin. Chivers will want to regain some places. Deflated, going for the move on Prev. Locks the rears a little bit as Deflated gets 3 seconds. Could that possibly be removed? Who knows, as that I think might be around. Prev gets a massive snap on the exit, sending it round the outside to try and defend his position from Chivers, but can't quite make the apex. IIRL and Greg going side by side for the triple apex. All of them going off. Maybe the mediums are just about starting to die off. But JohnJohn, as we speak, has broken DRS from the cars behind. So JohnJohn could actually start to run away with this race now. As we've seen him do so many times in the past. He's an impressive driver, as that is Chivers and Deflate going side by side through turn 1. IIRL almost cutting the apex of turn 1 as Chivers gets a horrible exit, and Prev is able to capitalise again. IIRL side by side with DeflatedWee as there's contact and Prev is round. Prev is round and Chivers has lost out to 9th. Greg is back up to Greg is up to 8th. There's a spinning McLaren, of Prev again going through turn 3. Prev has dropped from 6th all the way to 11th. DeflatedWee with a 3-second time penalty, and IIRL has gained up to P7. Greg with a pretty decent incident avoidance there, but goes off the track at the hairpin. Deflated will be susceptible to IIRL behind, and this could get rather spicy post-race, I think. Greg decides to keep it in behind Deflated. Obviously, with 3 seconds, Greg would gain on Deflated anyway. But it's not over till the flag drops. As Greg goes for the inside of that tight hairpin corner left-hander. And Greg with a fantastic move on Deflated. Angry Corgi and Prev going side by side in the background. DeflatedWee on the inside of the high-speed left-hander. That would be a ballsy one to pull off. Can't quite get there, but through turn 20, they're still side by side. Greg going a little bit wider. Both of them will... Oh no! Greg doesn't have DRS. And Deflated does. They'll be side by side up into turn 1. Greg just backs off a little bit. Comes back at him in the braking zone. Can't quite get there though. That was an insane lap and a half, 2 laps, I don't even know anymore. Prev is, from having a fantastic start, is fighting with Angry Corgi for P11. Ryan has gone round, so he's dropped off the back of the top 4 now, and that will open the door to Ayahuasca. But SlapBus has got back into the DRS of JohnJohn, albeit he is still more than 3/4 of a second out, or no, yeah, 6, fluctuating between 6.5 and 7/10. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1, that is SmallerSmiley again. As that is Greg, excuse the switching, going around the outside of turn 12. That's a brilliant move. Couldn't quite catch that. Obviously he was helped by the DRS. Deflated going for that tighter line. Greg going very tight for the next corner. That one you probably want to open up a little bit more than Greg did right there. But with Ryan's tyres having spun as well, as that is Prev that has gone round as well, we'll need to see whether that was contact with Angry Corgi or whether that was overheating tyres from the previous spins. But JohnJohn has not let the lead slip away yet. And he is doing very well and looking on course for another victory as SlapBus gets 3 seconds. SlapBus gets a 3-second penalty from P2. That could be crucial for his race. And he does not have DRS. He will be just outside of the window. Right on board with SlapBus here. Look back. Does not have DRS. Could possibly be susceptible to that guy, because we've seen he's had a bit lower wings than everybody here, as that guy is going for it on the inside of SlapBus. Gets the job done as Chivers gets another 3-second penalty. SlapBus wisely backing out. TOPGun now all over the back of SlapBus, but all of this has meant that they are dropping back from JohnJohn. But the gap is only 2.5 tenths to outside of DRS. So if there's a mistake from JohnJohn, which we rarely ever see, we could see somebody else in the fight for the victory here. Greg is now very close to the DRS of Ayahuasca as well, performing brilliantly in these last few races. Doing well in both France, I believe Silverstone, off the top of my head. But yeah, very exciting race so far, as that is Deflated on the inside of Greg, as Greg just about outbrakes himself, comes back at Deflated on the apex, and just about holds position through turn 2. But all of this fighting will just keep losing them time to Ayahuasca, so we could see, and anyway, was that a little tap there? As Chivers gets another 3-second penalty. But yeah, was that a little tap there from Deflated on Greg? That looked maybe a bit too close for comfort for DeflatedWee there. The only Mercedes man in this race, as Greg gets a pretty bad exit out the hairpin. I think he might have gone off there, but this will allow DeflatedWee through almost certainly before the end of the straight. Yeah, pulls out in front as SmallerSmiley has crashed, and that has caused a safety car. This will be horrible for the people with penalties. This will be brilliant for Ryan and all of the guys on the mediums. Unfortunately, SmallerSmiley's race is over, but everybody on the medium tyres will likely be going to the hards now. Yeah, this has been a bloody chaotic race so far, as all of the top 4 have come in. I'm not sure what SlapBus and TopGun will do on hards. JohnJohn goes to hards, SlapBus goes to mediums. I don't think he'll quite get those to the end, if I'm being completely honest with you. Ryan has also come in, Ayahuasca, DeflatedWee, Greg. Chivers has stayed out on mediums, that's an interesting call. TidiestBear comes in, an angry Corgi will probably come in, but Chivers has found his way up to 5th again. SmallerSmiley now leaving. Very unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver, had a brilliant qualifying, qualified P6 if I'm remembering right. As Corgi comes into the pits as well. I think this will save Prev as well. Unfortunately the McLarens may have... yeah, the McLarens will be double stacking. But this will help Prev get right back up there. JohnJohn has already caught the safety car. These 2 cars out in front, they'll want to pull away from SlapBus and TopGun and have enough of a lead to make sure that when those mediums do die off, they will be absolutely flying. Obviously with Chivers, it'll be a bit of a different story for Ryan behind on the hards, and there's only 2 other cars on the hards. It's TidiestBear and Prev, but medium, soft. Good evening, TD. Hope you're alright, mate. Medium, soft. I honestly... medium, soft from here, no. From here it would have to be a medium. I honestly don't think that mediums can go to the end from here. It would be a tough ask if somebody made it. Medium soft. Never know. Medium soft could work. You'd have a lot of ground to make up though. Excuse me eating. My sister brought up some garlic bread while we were watching the race. That is the AlphaTauri of Ayahuasca, who is coming in again. Not entirely sure why. He's gone to a fresh hard set. So Ayahuasca will be going to the end. Garlic bread. Garlic bread is the goated bread. What happened? Not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I think Smaller just dropped it at the S section. I noticed his car stopped and then he retired. Obviously, was in enough of a dangerous place to cause a safety car. Chivers has stayed out on 10 lap old medium, so he'll be coming in for either softs later in the race or in for hards sometime soon. Ooh, scrambled egg. I can't eat too much egg. If I eat too much... excuse me. If I eat too much egg, then I don't feel well. I don't know whether that's normal or not, but... your second favourite egg. We don't discuss what my favourite eggs are. For those of you that know, you know. As that is the safety car. Will be coming in this lap. We'll ride on board. No, we won't ride on board. We'll ride off board with JohnJohn, as he will eventually get the safety car restart underway. And it'll be just enough time for me to finish one piece of my garlic bread. Your favourite is Easter egg? I agree. Easter eggs are great. Especially the chocolate ones. Dairy milk, Easter egg. I haven't had mine yet, because I don't tend to eat them. which is kind of funny, because I just have Easter eggs lying on my floor. As we'll see JohnJohn probably leaving it as late as is possible. And yeah, JohnJohn goes round the final corner to lead us on to lap 12 on the safety car restart. And it's a pretty decent restart from everybody. Ryan will want to get past Chivers fairly quickly, I'd imagine, as Ye's gone down the inside at turn 1. Could possibly open the door for Deflated on those fresh mediums as well, and yeah, Deflated does go through. Chivers on those mediums will probably be dropping back through the field. But JohnJohn, with a perfect restart, has held P1, and that guy with P2 as well. They'll be bored down on by TheSlapBus and TOPGun though. And I think that this could get extremely spicy. TheSlapBus very close to looking for a move there, as Greg also gets past Chivers, as you can see on the leaderboard. There's a bit of chaos behind, and that was somebody going very, very slippery out of the hairpin as Deflated goes past Ryan, his rival for P3, as TheSlapBus down the inside for P2, and TOPGun capitalises for P3. TOPGun on the outside, and just about gets it done on that guy. Chivers is dropping further and further back. Could allow Padge into the points. But chaotic safety car restart, but it's worked out for JohnJohn. Ayahuasca dropping to the back of the field now, as Prev gets past Padge as well. And now we take a bit of a breather again. As late as I leave my Easter eggs, I agree. As Chivers gets another 3-second penalty. TOPGun with the fastest lap, 1:35.3. As that is TheSlapBus going for the lead. TheSlapBus going for the lead on his return. JohnJohn will be side by side with him through turn 2, but can't quite get him on the exit. Prev gets past Chivers. As Padge gets a 3-second penalty. But that is TheSlapBus up into the lead. Started qualifying on in P1. With his 3-second penalty, he won't end there, but it'll be very close to see where he'll actually be. But I believe it's DRS TheSlap, if I'm remembering correctly. No, it's not. It's next lap. Ignore me. Why did Chivers stay on used? I have no idea. Maybe he thought he could cause a bit of a hold-up for his teammate behind. Or in front, rather. Maybe he's going to try medium soft, but I think by that stage he'll just be too far back. And maybe it was to avoid the double stack. But we don't know, as Padge gets another 3 seconds. That one might get looked at because that's just for corner cutting. But TheSlapBus is pulling away by quite a large margin. That guy is quite close to dropping out of DRS as well, as TidiestBear gets past an angry Corgi. And JohnJohn is still within DRS, but he'll be quite susceptible, to TOPGun. That guy will be very close to being out of DRS. Ryan's dropped out of DRS. TOPGun almost pushing JohnJohn through turn 1. JohnJohn with a good exit though is able to stay within TheSlapBus's DRS, but the S section is where the mediums will be faster. They've had, what, 2 racing laps on those on those mediums. So they could be around 9 to 10%. And they'll be hitting the first drop-off quite soon, I'd imagine. All of the top 6 now staying within DRS of each other. So we could see a move or two being made. That guy though, one of those who are very close to being out of DRS. Ryan is also very close to being out of DRS, but that guy dropping quite further back. As Prev has got past an angry Corgi in the background, Ayahuasca now gets past Chivers on the freshest tyres in the field. On those hards that he pitted 1 lap later on under the safety car. But TOPGun looking for a move on the inside of the right-hander, the triple right. That would have been a brave one to pull off. As Padge now gets past Chivers, excuse me, I might have a bit of a cold. It was hailing yesterday in the UK. I had to drive in it. I had a driving lesson yesterday. That was an experience, to say the least. That guy just about staying within Top Gun as Chivers gets another 3-second penalty. Actually, I kind of want to pull up the penalties and just see... Oh my lord of lords. IIRL now getting up into P10. Excuse me, I shouldn't be laughing at this. But that guy with a 3-second penalty as well, so that will keep him off of the podium if he eventually gets back up there, and an angry Corgi also getting one. But not sure what happened there. The gap from JohnJohn to TheSlapBus almost went up, English, above a second. As that is DeflatedWee getting past TopGun on the mediums. He'll want to stick with the top 3 here. Goes a little bit deep. He is flashing. DeflatedWee is flashing. So having had, as he's had a very big snap out of that hairpin there. Excuse me, I need a minute to catch my breath. Oh dear. I think that was somebody else in front flashing as well. I think it might have been TopGun flashing. Can't quite tell, but yeah, I didn't think this was a track for track limit penalties, but seemingly people are getting quite their lot today. And I think the mediums might be quite close to hitting their first drop off here, as they're not quite pulling away as TheSlapBus is not quite pulling away as much as he'd want to. He's got 12 laps to take those tyres. They'll be the equivalent of, let me just work this out, excuse me, 16 laps old by the end of this race, because they had 2 laps under safety car. But JohnJohn could be looking to retake the lead here, as he'll open the DRS down to the straight. He's 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths. He's a tenth back. And he's going for the move. JohnJohn takes the lead as TheSlapBus tucks back in behind. As that guy's got back past Deflated. Doesn't go quite as deep as Deflated did as last time. And that is Prev also getting past TidiestBear as well. And I think if Chivers is still not going to come in, he could be pushing this to a medium soft. I wouldn't personally recommend this, especially with the safety car. He's going to lose out positions, but TheSlapBus also still hasn't fallen away from JohnJohn, so we could get him back up into turn 1. Doesn't pull out for the move and doesn't go for the move, almost pushing him through turn 1 though. JohnJohn with a more exit-focused approach for the corner, I guess you'd call it. But I always love this section. It's so cool to see how F1 cars go so fast through here. It's incredible. The amount of downforce that they produce. That was very close to a warning for JohnJohn there. But, yeah, as Chivers has come in now and he has fitted the soft tyres to his car. Yeah, medium soft with 20 seconds to make up. In 10 laps you'd need to be 2 seconds a lap faster. It's possible, certainly. I just don't think I'd recommend it. As already in the first sector he's closed a second to an angry Corgi. We'll be keeping an eye on those gaps. As TidiestBear now gets past Prev, IIRL will be looking to get past them, I think, as Prev gets back past TidiestBear. IIRL on the freshest hards in the field, obviously not the freshest tyres in the field, now that Chivers has come in for his first stop, excuse me. As we move on to lap 18, SlapBus still just about within DRS as TidiestBear and Prev are going hammer and tong by the looks of things. Chivers getting another 3-second penalty. Prev and Ayahuasca now side by side, and I think might be a good idea to switch to them. Ride on board with Prev, back of this train for this lap. TidiestBear flashing, Prev looking for the inside on Ayahuasca, pushing him a little bit through turn 1. TidiestBear and Prev has gone round. That's the... You can't do that, mate. I don't think you're allowed to do that. As, excuse me, TidiestBear is flashing. This could open the door to Ayahuasca. TidiestBear gets a 3-second penalty. As Ayahuasca gets the DRS, I think TidiestBear was actually playing DRS chicken there, but didn't quite realise that it was a little bit earlier than he'd expected. So that'll be Ayahuasca through into P8. Not sure how much higher he'll get, as Corgi also gets past Prev. We'll see the fight now between these drivers. That guy having been in P2 for the majority of the race. So SlapBus comes in again. Interesting call from the Red Bull man for today. Unless he's going another... Oh no, he's gone on to softs. He'll come out behind Greg. I don't think he'll come out behind Ayahuasca. But SlapBus will have a lot of ground to make up. He'll have less ground to make up than Chivers, but it could be down to the wire here for these guys. It'll be very, very close. As Prev has retired in the pit lane, Chivers sets the fastest lap. Corgi's gone for a new set of mediums. Unfortunate that Prev's had to retire. He was having a fantastic race in the first stage of the race, but unfortunately couldn't quite keep it there. What with a few incidents and a few spins. F1 needs to sort out their camera views as well. This one's actually quite bad to watch racing on. Yeah, that guy in DeflatedWee dropping a couple tenths per lap. I think that was a second or so in 2 laps, if not more. But Ryan now getting a 3-second time penalty. I think that might be his first of the race, as SlapBus has also got Greg now. Yeah, with SlapBus with 10 to 11 seconds of free air, that will be going down lap after lap after lap. DeflatedWee with another 3-second time penalty, that will drop him behind Ryan if the gaps stay this way. We will find out. As we said earlier, it's not over until the flag drops. Obviously, this race has been actually quite full on, to be honest with you. This has been a very thoroughly enjoyable race so far. I don't know about you guys at home, but that is TOPGun shaping for a move up into turn 12. Gets it down the inside, but JohnJohn will come back at him on the switchback. TOPGun with the inside. JohnJohn almost goes into the back of TOPGun there. TOPGun on the mediums, taking the lead from JohnJohn's hards, with DRS of course. But we will see how those mediums drop off. I think at this stage the drop-off levels will actually be quite similar, with 8 laps to go once they cross the line, including the lap that they're on. This will be one of the tightest fights I think I've seen for a while, and with more than just 2 drivers in it as well. JohnJohn stays behind for turn 1. TOPGun just about keeping it within track. JohnJohn obviously taking the wider line. I think that JohnJohn is the more experienced of the two, so, and especially in no assists. But yeah, JohnJohn obviously has been here since Season 1. Not entirely certain if he was here in APS, obviously what the league was known as before IIRL, but he's got a wealth of experience underneath him, and he's going to go now for the inside and for the lead on lap 21. Retakes the lead that he's held for the majority of this race from pole position, the number 25 Ferrari. He will be having the time of his life up there, I believe. Corgi getting another 3-second penalty, unfortunate for the man in P12. And I think, unfortunately, he might stay there. I'm just trying to think, what else can we look at? Because this race has calmed down quite a bit now. But TOPGun with the DRS going up into turn 1 probably won't look for the move, considering how far back he is. JohnJohn with a good exit as well will keep him behind before the S section. Chivers with another 3-second penalty. What I do want to keep an eye on, by the way, is the gap between SlapBus and Ryan, because if that goes down enough, but it's looking to be stabilising a little bit. As I say that, it goes down by 2.5 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 6. Ignore me. But yeah, SlapBus on those 3-lap soft tyres. They will be starting to drop off any lap now. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say around the next lap. But we shall find out. I think that's Ryan that's now outside the penalty window of DeflatedWee. Obviously the penalty that he has himself. We'll just pull those up quickly. That guy having 3, Deflated having 6, Ryan with 3, just about he's keeping it in and around Deflated's penalty window. SlapBus with 3 he got quite early on in this race, unfortunately. May take him out the fight for the win. With 5 laps to go, he has to catch 9 seconds. 3 laps to go? 5 laps to go. Yeah, he has to catch 9.5 seconds. He does get past Ryan before turn 1. Now, SlapBus will have a little bit more clean air, but we'll see. As we keep going through the penalties, TidiestBear was 6. Chivers with 24 seconds of penalties. How have you managed that one, my friend? Please don't get disqualified. As Padge also has 6 seconds and an angry Corgi with 9. I think, was Padge coming for another stop? No. Interesting. I wonder what's happened there. As Deflated has fallen out of DRS of that guy. He's quite close to being within it. We'll see how Ryan keeps up with SlapBus. Honestly not sure he will. I think he might have this one DRS zone and then SlapBus will be gone, and yeah, as I say that, that DRS window has now been broken. So, as there is a yellow flag in Sector 2, that is Nangry Corgi and Padge have both gone off at the start of Sector 2, excuse me. However, SlapBus does not have DRS, he's 1.8 seconds down on his fastest lap. We'll change it to the last lap time if I can find that. No, that's fastest lap. Where's last lap time? I can't pull up the race director, that's mildly annoying. But, you know, oh well. We'll find out. The TheSlapBus is now within the DRS of the most French person in this league. If you don't know, that's an in-joke. But 5.5 seconds to the top 2 is that guy. And TheSlapBus will be bearing down on the back of DeflatedWee with DRS DeflatedWee flashing. He gets the move very easily done. Just trying to look on the dashboard to be completely honest with you. I don't know if TheSlapBus has too much DRS. But I can't see because my camera settings are, in some people's eyes, vile. Padge has come in for softs, probably in a bid to try and take the fastest lap. He might drop behind... No, I don't think he will. Unless his pace is horrible, which I hope for Padge's sake is not the case. Padge could be lapped. Unfortunate for Padge was running up in the points earlier, but something happened earlier with Corgi. Unfortunately, both went round. TheSlapBus is also... We'll go back to TheSlapBus now. He's within the DRS of that guy. And this could be... I think they both have 3-second penalties. Or 3 seconds worth of penalties, so... This could be the move for the legitimate P3 in the race. Unless one of them gets another 3-second penalty. However, will it be the move on the inside? No, TheSlapBus can't quite get there. Goes a little bit wide on the apex, but it doesn't cost him too much time, as Ryan is also now closing onto the back of Deflated. But as Padge gets another 3-second penalty, unfortunate for the McLaren man. I think TheSlapBus's tyres might have gone off a little bit too far now, and they've reached the first drop-off. Those hards will be screaming, but so will those softs, as an angry Corgi has crashed, unfortunately bringing an end to his race. However, here we see, as DeflatedWee comes into the pits, with a few laps to go, TheSlapBus going a little bit wide into turn 1, but that guy wisely letting him go on the exit. Deflated has gone onto a fresh set of softs. He could actually come out behind Greg, which might ruin his race, as Chivers gets another 3-second penalty. TidiestBear gets another one as well. TheSlapBus keeping it very close to the track limits there. But is 6 seconds too much for the Red Bull man? He's got 3 laps to do it. He'd need to be 2 seconds a lap quicker, and honestly at this stage I think those softs might be just that little bit too far gone. As Deflated gets past Greg before the DRS detection point, so he won't have DRS down the back straight and Greg will, but with the gap that big, I don't think that Greg should be fighting that, in all honesty. But Deflated will now need to pull 6 seconds on Greg to keep that P6. We'll keep on board... Actually, no, we'll go to the top 2 with TOPGun actually quite close to being at DRS there for a second. 7/10 is around about the gap. But I think JohnJohn might have this in the bag, as Chivers goes for the move on TidiestBear and gets himself up into P9. Excuse me. And I think that gap from SlapBus to the top 2 is just about too much. I think that SlapBus's tyres have gone off too far. As they say in real life, they've hit the cliff. And I think he's left it a couple laps too early, to be completely honest with you. But right now, these front 2 have been here for the entire race. TOPGun running in P4 for the first few stages of the race, but JohnJohn has been leading for the majority of this race. You never know, it could change all on the last lap, depending on battery levels, which obviously we don't know. But we could see a last minute change for the lead. DeflatedWee go over the fastest lap, I believe. We'll actually ride on board with the Mercedes man as he goes through. I think this might be the first onboard sort of qualifying lap that we've seen today on those soft tyres. He's a 10th up on his current best. We'll actually pull up the fastest lap. Wrong way. There we go. Chivers is the fastest lap on a 1:34.7. Deflated would need another 7 or 8 tenths as Chivers also gets back past TidiestBear. Deflated would need one hell of a final corner, or final sector rather. 34, 35, no, I think Deflated might be going for it this lap as well, considering it is the final lap. These two have been going at it hammer and tong for the entire race. Unfortunately, the gap from SlapBus to the top 2 could not be overhauled, and it will stay at around 5.5 to 6 seconds, but with the penalty, that will be increasing. As TOPGun is now flashing with DRS, I don't think he'll send it here. Goes for a little friendly look as TidiestBear and Chivers also going side by side into the first sector. We'll go with JohnJohn through the final sector though. This has been probably one of the best performances I've seen thus far. He's deflated, washed, God camper. I don't think he's washed, I think that just other people have improved. Like this man. The Ferrari man, who will be looking to claim his second championship in IIRL, takes the win. From TOPGun in P2, SlapBus unfortunately couldn't quite overhaul his 6-second gap. That guy an impressive P4. Ryan coming home in P5. Pretty good drive from him there, holding station in the top 6. Deflated, having a pretty decent comeback drive, doesn't quite get the fastest lap. Greg with P7. Has Greg run out of fuel? Greg going quite slowly there by the looks of things, but comes home P7, Ayahuasca P8. Chivers with, hold on, 27 seconds worth of penalties. I think that might be a new record, to be completely honest with you. Chivers comes home in P9, but will drop the position into P10 because of those penalties. Padge, unfortunately, will come home P11 with the 3 cars obviously DNF'd. Dear flipping God. But, yeah, guys, I don't know how to start a poll. How do I do that? But yeah, brilliant driving for everybody today. Unfortunate for Padge, he couldn't quite make it into the top 10 because he was running there at points, but unfortunately Padge can't quite make it. Most amount of pens to still score a point. I don't actually know who has it. I think Sun God might know off the top of his head. But I don't think we've seen him in chat recently. Now these guys are just fast as all hell. Yeah, Johnny B, I know what you mean. Having gone against them myself, these are some of the best drivers in IIRL right now. But yes, that is TOPGun. TOPGun? Excuse me. JohnJohn, who takes the win ahead of TOPGun, who comes up from 3rd to 2nd. SlapBus with the alternative strategy, not quite paying off for him there, still a couple seconds back from the lead. That guy couldn't quite get the podium, having started P4 with an impressive wet qualifying, holds that position in the race. Ryan holding P5 as well. DeflatedWee coming in for the fastest lap attempt, couldn't quite get it by the end. Greg coming home for P7 from P11. Ayahuasca coming home in P8, getting home some good points for AlphaTauri. TidiestBear coming home in P9. Chivers with the fastest lap in P10 with that very, very large penalty total. And Padge, unfortunately, couldn't quite get to the line without inside the points, excuse me. And then after that, 3 DNF cars of Corgi, Prev, and Smaller. Johnny, this is bullying. I hope you guys enjoyed that race. I haven't been streaming for a while because of some mental issues. I hope you guys understand. Sprechen Sie English? Hablas español. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been fun to experience it with you. The next race will be 81 at COTA, where Exotic will be looking to claim his first championship. This is the earliest that I've seen somebody able to claim the championship, with 5 races, including 1 sprint to go. If he outscores Exotic Planes, no, if Exotic outscores Björn by 16 points and Deflated by 10, then Exotic Planes will become the champion. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a spectacle of a race on Thursday. Next week will be the Qatar Grand Prix for no assists, and I will see you guys then, and hopefully I'll have somebody else alongside me. Thank you for watching, guys. Goodbye.